Men are moved by two levers only, fear and self-interest. Napoleon Bonaparte, they tell you that honesty is the best policy, that if you're just yourself, people will appreciate you. They tell you that manipulation is something only bad people do. We're here to tell you something different. Every interaction is a negotiation, a subtle dance of influence. Pretending it isn't happening doesn't make you virtuous, it makes you vulnerable. The world doesn't reward blind honesty, it rewards strategic communication. People rarely say what they truly mean. Their words are carefully chosen, filtered through layers of social conditioning and self-preservation. To take everything at face value is to navigate a minefield blindfolded. You need to learn to see the unspoken motives, the hidden agendas that drive people's actions. You need to understand that even the simplest conversation is a game, and those who understand the rules have a distinct advantage. Most people are operating on autopilot, reacting instinctively to social cues without understanding why. They are easily swayed by carefully crafted narratives, by subtle displays of dominance, by appeals to their deepest insecurities. We're going to show you how to break free from that autopilot. We're going to equip you with the tools to analyze any situation, to identify the underlying power dynamics, and to respond with precision and control. This isn't about becoming a master manipulator in the negative sense. It's about self-defense. It's about understanding the forces at play so that you can protect yourself from being exploited, from being manipulated, from being taken advantage of. It's about recognizing the game so you don't become a pawn. It's about seeing the chess board, not just the individual pieces. The world is filled with people trying to get something from you: your time, your money, your attention, your energy. Often they're not even aware they're doing it. They're just operating according to their own hidden agendas, their own unconscious desires. But awareness is the first step to defense. When you understand how these agendas work, you can anticipate them, deflect them, and even use them to your own advantage. Don't be fooled by the saccharine pronouncements of positivity gurus. Genuine strength lies not in naive trust, but in clear-eyed observation. True connection isn't built on blind faith, but on mutual understanding of the games we all play. We are not advocating for a world of constant suspicion. We're advocating for a world of informed awareness. A world where you are not a passive participant in social interactions, but an active strategist, capable of navigating the complex terrain of human relationships with confidence and control. The truth is, everyone has hidden agendas. It's part of human nature. It's how we survive, how we compete, how we get what we want. The key is to understand what those agendas are, both in yourself and in others, so that you can make informed decisions and protect your own interests. Stop believing the lies. Start seeing the truth. The game is on. Are you ready to play? Hidden agendas are the silent drivers behind many of our interactions, the unspoken desires and intentions that shape our words and actions. To truly understand human behavior, we must delve into the psychology that fuels these hidden agendas, exploring the underlying needs and motivations that propel individuals to pursue their goals, often without explicitly stating them. At the core of every hidden agenda is a fundamental human need, whether it be the need for validation, the need for control, the need for security, or the need for connection. These needs are deeply ingrained in our psyche and often operate on a subconscious level, influencing our behavior in ways we may not even realize. Consider the individual who constantly seeks praise and admiration. Their hidden agenda might be rooted in a deep-seated need for validation, stemming from past experiences of criticism or neglect. They may unconsciously manipulate conversations to steer them towards topics where they can showcase their accomplishments, subtly fishing for compliments and affirmations. Or consider the person who always needs to be in charge. Their hidden agenda may be driven by a need for control, stemming from a fear of vulnerability or a desire to feel powerful and secure. They may subtly undermine the authority of others, assert their dominance in group settings, and resist any attempts to challenge their decisions. Understanding these underlying needs is crucial for decoding hidden agendas, as it allows us to see beyond the surface level of behavior and identify the true motivations driving an individual's actions. It's about recognizing that what people say is often not what they truly mean, and that their words are merely a carefully constructed facade designed to mask their underlying desires. Another key aspect of the psychology behind hidden agendas is the concept of self-preservation. Human beings are inherently self-interested, and their primary concern is their own survival and well-being. This self-interest often manifests in hidden agendas, as individuals seek to protect themselves from harm, advance their own interests, and maximize their chances of success. This doesn't necessarily imply malicious intent. It's simply a natural consequence of our biological imperative to survive. For example, an employee might subtly sabotage a colleague's project in order to improve their own chances of getting a promotion. Their hidden agenda is driven by a desire for career advancement, and they are willing to engage in unethical behavior to achieve their goals. Similarly, a friend might offer unsolicited advice in order to subtly assert their superiority and maintain their position of power in the relationship. Their hidden agenda is driven by a need to feel competent and valued, and they are willing to undermine the other person's confidence to achieve this. Recognizing the role of self-preservation in shaping hidden agendas allows us to understand why people act the way they do, even when their actions seem irrational or contradictory. It's about acknowledging that everyone is looking out for themselves, and that their behavior is often driven by a subconscious desire to protect their own interests. Furthermore, the psychology of hidden agendas is also closely linked to the concept of cognitive biases. Cognitive biases are systematic patterns of deviation from norm or rationality in judgment, and they can significantly influence our perception of reality and our decision-making processes. These biases can lead us to make irrational choices, to misinterpret information, and to develop hidden agendas that are based on flawed assumptions. For example, the confirmation bias is the tendency to seek out information that confirms our existing beliefs, while ignoring information that contradicts them. This bias can lead us to develop hidden agendas that are based on inaccurate or incomplete information, as we selectively focus on evidence that supports our preconceived notions. Similarly, the availability heuristic is the tendency to overestimate the likelihood of events that are easily recalled, while underestimating the likelihood of events that are less memorable. This bias can lead us to develop hidden agendas that are based on fear or anxiety, as we overestimate the risks and dangers that we face. Understanding the role of cognitive biases in shaping hidden agendas allows us to identify and correct our own flawed thinking patterns and to make more rational and informed decisions. It's about being aware of our own biases and actively seeking out alternative perspectives in order to avoid falling victim to cognitive distortions. In essence, decoding hidden agendas requires a deep understanding of human psychology, including the underlying needs that drive our behavior, the role of self-preservation in shaping our actions, and the influence of cognitive biases on our perception of reality. It's about seeing beyond the surface level of behavior and recognizing the unspoken desires and intentions that shape our interactions. Only then can we truly understand the complex dynamics of human relationships and protect ourselves from being manipulated or exploited. Consider a scenario, a seemingly innocuous office environment. Sarah, a mid-level manager, consistently volunteers for high-profile projects, positioning herself as the indispensable team player. On the surface, her actions appear altruistic, driven by a desire to contribute to the company's success. However, a closer examination reveals a hidden agenda fueled by ambition and a calculated strategy for upward mobility. Sarah's eagerness to take on additional responsibilities is not simply a reflection of her work ethic. It's a carefully orchestrated campaign to impress upper management and outshine her colleagues. She understands that visibility is key to advancement, and each project she tackles is a stepping stone towards her ultimate goal, a promotion to a senior leadership position. Her interactions with coworkers are often tinged with subtle manipulation. She readily offers assistance, creating a sense of obligation and dependence, while simultaneously highlighting her own competence and expertise. She might subtly undermine the contributions of others, strategically positioning herself as the problem solver and the driving force behind the team's achievements. Sarah's hidden agenda is not necessarily malicious. It's a product of her desire for success in a competitive environment. However, her actions can have a detrimental impact on team dynamics, fostering resentment and creating a climate of distrust. Her colleagues may perceive her as opportunistic and self-serving, eroding her credibility and undermining her long-term success. The key to decoding Sarah's hidden agenda lies in recognizing the discrepancy between her stated intentions and her actual behavior. While she publicly professes her commitment to teamwork and collaboration, her actions reveal a relentless pursuit of personal gain. By observing her interactions, analyzing her motivations, and understanding her strategic objectives, we can gain a deeper understanding of the hidden forces that drive her behavior and the potential consequences of her actions. This isn't about judging Sarah. It's about recognizing the game being played and understanding the underlying motivations that drive individuals within complex social structures. The office, in this case, becomes a microcosm of larger social power dynamics. What appears on the surface, teamwork, collaboration, shared goals, is often a facade masking individual ambitions and strategic plays for power and influence. The ability to discern these hidden agendas is crucial for navigating such environments effectively, protecting oneself from manipulation, and ultimately achieving one's own objectives while maintaining ethical standards. The truly skilled player is not necessarily the one who ruthlessly pursues their own agenda, but the one who can recognize and understand the agendas of others, and use that knowledge to build alliances, negotiate effectively, and create mutually beneficial outcomes. This requires a high degree of emotional intelligence, empathy, and a keen understanding of human psychology. The office environment is merely a stage. The principles apply across various social settings, from family gatherings to political negotiations. Understanding the hidden agendas at play allows for more informed decision-making and strategic maneuvering. The trap that the weak consistently fall into is the belief that what is said is always what is meant. They accept surface-level communication without questioning the underlying intentions or hidden agendas. This naivete becomes their undoing. They fail to recognize the subtle cues, the carefully chosen words, and the strategic omissions that reveal the true motivations behind the interaction. They are like chess players who only see the pieces on the board, oblivious to the grand strategy unfolding. They react to immediate threats without anticipating future moves or understanding the opponent's ultimate objective. This lack of foresight leaves them vulnerable to manipulation and exploitation. Their emotional responses are easily triggered, making them predictable and controllable. They wear their hearts on their sleeves, telegraphing their intentions and weaknesses to anyone paying attention. They crave acceptance and validation, making them susceptible to flattery and empty promises. The skilled manipulator preys on these vulnerabilities, offering superficial rewards in exchange for genuine loyalty and commitment. The weak are easily swayed by charismatic personalities and convincing narratives, failing to critically evaluate the information presented to them. They are drawn to certainty and simplicity, rejecting nuance and complexity. They prefer to believe in comforting lies rather than confront uncomfortable truths. This desire for simplicity makes them susceptible to propaganda and misinformation. They become pawns in a larger game, manipulated by those who understand their psychological weaknesses. Their inability to see beyond the surface prevents them from recognizing the true nature of the power dynamics at play. They blindly follow authority figures, unquestioningly accepting their pronouncements and directives. They lack the critical thinking skills necessary to discern truth from falsehood, making them vulnerable to deception. They are easily influenced by social pressure, conforming to group norms and opinions even when they conflict with their own values and beliefs. This fear of social rejection prevents them from asserting their own interests and challenging the status quo. They prioritize harmony over truth, avoiding conflict at all costs. This passive approach allows manipulative individuals to control the narrative and dictate the terms of engagement. The weak often underestimate the power of perception and the importance of managing their own image. They fail to recognize that every interaction is a performance and that their words and actions are constantly being evaluated by others. They are unaware of the subtle ways in which they are being judged and assessed. This lack of self-awareness makes them vulnerable to criticism and manipulation. They are easily demoralized by negative feedback, losing confidence and motivation. They allow others to define them and dictate their self-worth. They lack the resilience and mental fortitude necessary to withstand adversity. They give up easily when faced with obstacles, attributing their failures to external factors rather than taking responsibility for their own actions. They are trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and negativity, constantly reinforcing their own limitations. They fail to recognize their own potential and underestimate their own capabilities. They are convinced that they are powerless to change their circumstances, resigning themselves to a life of mediocrity. This self-fulfilling prophecy becomes their reality. The weak are often characterized by a lack of clear goals and a sense of purpose. They drift through life without a clear direction, reacting to events rather than proactively shaping their own destiny. They lack the vision and ambition necessary to achieve greatness. They are content to remain in their comfort zone, avoiding risks and challenges. This lack of ambition prevents them from realizing their full potential. They are easily distracted by fleeting pleasures and instant gratification, sacrificing long-term goals for short-term satisfaction. They lack the discipline and self-control necessary to achieve sustained success. They are easily discouraged by setbacks and failures, giving up on their dreams before they have a chance to be realized. They lack the perseverance and determination necessary to overcome obstacles. The weak are often surrounded by negative influences, reinforcing their self-limiting beliefs and behaviors. They associate with people who are similarly disempowered and unmotivated, creating a toxic environment that stifles growth and potential. They lack the discernment to choose their friends and mentors wisely. They are easily influenced by negative peer pressure, conforming to destructive behaviors and habits. They are trapped in a cycle of negativity, constantly reinforcing their own limitations. They fail to recognize the importance of surrounding themselves with positive and supportive individuals. The trap is not a single event, but a pattern of behavior, a way of thinking that perpetuates itself. It is a self-imposed limitation, a prison of the mind. Recognizing the trap is the first step towards escaping it, but it requires a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths and challenge deeply ingrained beliefs. The strong, however, understand that every interaction is a negotiation, a subtle dance for dominance and influence. They see the world not as a level playing field, but as a complex web of power dynamics, where individuals are constantly vying for position. They approach every conversation with a clear objective, a strategic goal in mind. They are not simply engaging in idle chatter, but carefully assessing the other person's strengths and weaknesses, identifying their vulnerabilities, and seeking opportunities to advance their own agenda. This is not to suggest that they are inherently malicious or manipulative, but rather that they possess a heightened awareness of the underlying forces at play in human interaction. They recognize that naivete and complacency are liabilities, and that those who fail to understand the game are destined to be played by others. The strong are masters of observation, meticulously studying the behavior of those around them. They pay close attention to body language, tone of voice, and word choice, searching for subtle cues that reveal hidden motives and intentions. They understand that people often say one thing while meaning another, and that the true message lies beneath the surface of conscious communication. They are adept at reading between the lines, deciphering the unspoken signals that betray a person's true feelings and desires. They are skilled at identifying patterns of behavior, recognizing recurring themes in a person's interactions, and using this knowledge to predict their future actions. They are like detectives, piecing together fragments of information to form a complete picture of the individual's character and motivations. They are also masters of self-presentation, carefully crafting their own image and projecting an aura of confidence and authority. They understand the importance of first impressions, knowing that people often make snap judgments based on superficial cues. They dress the part, speak with conviction, and maintain a posture of strength and control. They are adept at managing their emotions, concealing their vulnerabilities, and projecting an image of unwavering resolve. They are masters of deception, capable of masking their true intentions and manipulating others' perceptions. They understand that appearances can be deceiving, and that those who are skilled at projecting a desired image can often gain an advantage. This requires a deep understanding of human psychology, an ability to anticipate the reactions of others, and a willingness to play the game. The strong understand the power of leverage, the ability to exert influence through strategic alliances and calculated compromises. They recognize that no one operates in a vacuum, and that success often depends on building relationships and forging partnerships. They are skilled at identifying individuals who possess valuable resources or skills, and at cultivating relationships that can benefit them in the long run. They are masters of negotiation, adept at finding common ground and reaching mutually beneficial agreements. They are not afraid to make concessions, but they always ensure that they are getting something of value in return. They understand that compromise is often necessary to achieve their goals, but they never sacrifice their core principles or values. They are skilled at identifying the other person's needs and desires, and at crafting proposals that appeal to their self-interest. They are masters of persuasion, capable of swaying others to their point of view through reasoned arguments and emotional appeals. They are skilled at framing issues in a way that highlights their own strengths and downplays their weaknesses. They understand the importance of timing, knowing when to push and when to retreat. They are patient and persistent, willing to wait for the opportune moment to strike. They are not impulsive or reckless, but rather calculated and deliberate in their actions. The strong are also masters of deception, capable of misleading others without resorting to outright lies. They understand the power of suggestion, the ability to influence people's thoughts and actions through subtle cues and indirect communication. They are skilled at creating ambiguity, leaving room for interpretation and allowing others to draw their own conclusions. They are masters of misdirection, drawing attention away from their true intentions and focusing it on something else. They understand that people are often more likely to believe what they want to believe, and they exploit this tendency to their advantage. They are skilled at playing on people's emotions, appealing to their fears, hopes, and desires. They understand that people are often driven by irrational impulses, and they use this knowledge to manipulate their behavior. They are masters of psychological warfare, capable of disarming their opponents and undermining their confidence. This requires a deep understanding of human psychology, an ability to anticipate the reactions of others, and a willingness to exploit their vulnerabilities. They understand that information is power, and they are constantly seeking to gather intelligence about their rivals. They are skilled at eliciting information from others, often without them even realizing it. They are masters of observation, meticulously studying the behavior of their opponents, searching for weaknesses and vulnerabilities. They are adept at analyzing data, identifying patterns and trends that can give them an edge. They are skilled at using information to their advantage, leveraging it to gain influence and control. They understand the importance of secrecy, protecting their own information and preventing it from falling into the wrong hands. They are masters of counterintelligence, capable of detecting and neutralizing threats to their security. They are skilled at protecting their own assets, both tangible and intangible. They understand that knowledge is power, and they are constantly seeking to expand their understanding of the world. They are voracious readers, devouring books and articles on a wide range of subjects. They are keen observers, carefully studying the behavior of those around them. They are constant learners, always seeking to improve their skills and knowledge. The strong recognize that the world is constantly changing and that they must adapt to survive. They are flexible and adaptable, willing to adjust their strategies and tactics as needed. They are not rigid or inflexible, but rather fluid and dynamic. They are constantly experimenting with new approaches, seeking to find what works best in any given situation. They are not afraid to take risks, but they always calculate the odds carefully before committing to a course of action. They are resilient and resourceful, capable of overcoming obstacles and setbacks. They are not easily discouraged, but rather determined to succeed. The strong understand that success is not a matter of luck, but rather a result of careful planning, strategic execution, and unwavering determination. They are masters of their own destiny, shaping their own lives and achieving their goals through sheer force of will. They are not victims of circumstance, but rather active agents of their own success. They take responsibility for their own actions and outcomes, and they never blame others for their failures. They are self-reliant and independent, capable of achieving great things on their own. They are not dependent on others for their success, but rather they are the architects of their own fortune. The strong are not born, but made. They are the product of years of hard work, dedication, and perseverance. They have learned from their mistakes, and they have grown stronger from their challenges. They have developed a deep understanding of human nature, and they have learned how to navigate the complexities of the social world. They are masters of their own minds, and they have learned how to control their thoughts and emotions. They are the masters of their own destiny, and they have the power to achieve anything they set their minds to. They are the embodiment of strength, resilience, and determination. They are the leaders, the innovators, and the creators of our world. They are the ones who shape our future, and they are the ones who will leave a lasting legacy. They understand that the game is always being played, whether you are aware of it or not. The only question is, will you be a player or a pawn? The pursuit of hidden agendas is not a modern invention. It's woven into the very fabric of human history, a constant undercurrent in the rise and fall of empires. Consider the Roman Empire, a civilization built on conquest and expansion. While their official narrative often centered on spreading civilization and establishing peace, the hidden agenda was always about consolidating power, acquiring resources, and dominating rivals. Every military campaign, every diplomatic maneuver, every public works project served the underlying goal of solidifying Roman supremacy. Look beneath the veneer of magnificent architecture and sophisticated law, and you'll find a ruthless pursuit of self-interest masked by carefully crafted pronouncements of civic virtue. Their expansion was not simply about bringing order to chaos, but about controlling vital trade routes, securing access to precious metals, and eliminating potential threats to their dominance. The legions marched not just to defend the Republic, but to enrich its elite and expand its sphere of influence. Think of the Punic Wars, a series of brutal conflicts between Rome and Carthage. On the surface, it was a struggle for control of the Mediterranean, but the deeper agenda involved eliminating a commercial rival that threatened Rome's economic ambitions. Carthage, a powerful maritime trading hub, possessed the wealth and naval strength to challenge Roman dominance. The destruction of Carthage wasn't just about military victory. It was about removing a competitor from the playing field, ensuring Rome's unchallenged control over Mediterranean trade and resources. The infamous phrase, Carthago delenda est, Carthage must be destroyed, reveals the underlying ruthlessness of Rome's ambitions, a willingness to eliminate any obstacle to their ultimate goal of absolute power. The war cries and patriotic speeches served as a smokescreen, obscuring the cold, calculating logic of imperial ambition. Even within the Roman Empire, hidden agendas thrive.